Hello, hello. Today we're going to be starting with working on a quest in the game, making some adjustments slash big refactoring. We're kind of removing a quest that is holding up a bunch of other quests. It's just messing up the pacing. So I have a design doc here. Jacqueline wrote of all the things we need to do to sort of deprecate this quest. Leave in some of the bits that we've already done. It'll just kind of add flavor to the world, but make sure that they're not contingent on the player doing anything. So first I want to find an entry point into this quest. I'm just going to prepare my scene here. Just to have main in here. Load up main. That's just loading. There we go. And then we also need exterior world. Sort of the structure of our game here. We have game core is where all of the actual game logic lives, and a lot of the events and things, like cutscenes and stuff, I guess, of that nature. And then main is kind of an interesting smattering. It's mostly NPCs and interiors. And then exterior world is where all the outside, the entire outside world lives. All the art, mostly art. Some interactive things as well. I'm going to turn off the UI layer just so because it kind of covers up everything. And then I'm going to look for a start setting. Flower. Don't have one for flower. Clover's market day. Think about donuts. Kind of surprising that we don't have any start setting for this. No, we don't have anything for this. It's kind of crazy. So go indie, roomy, Clover, nothing. Market day. Yeah. Maybe baking, something about baking. No, nothing about baking. Mill quest. It might be mill quest here, although I don't think so. I'm going to check if mill quest has any start. Okay, it does have a start position. Let's go ahead and pop into game and see if this mill quest starts us with it. I think this is a different quest, but I'm just gonna check. Okay. And then we're supposed to go to the cursed mill. All right, so that's not the same quest. Different quest. So I don't know where the entry point for this quest is. I'm gonna go to Indie's stub. And I'm just gonna look for hooks for the this flower quest we've got. I don't see any. Garden. Yeah, I don't see any flower quest related things. Okay, well, I can at least open the script for it. All right. Clover wants flower. Here's a schedule. I can't find anything about this quest. Don't know what it is. Okay, Clover summer intro. There's something. Let's open that. So here's a bunch of stuff happening. Clover's treats. So there's a class called Clover's treats. Treat stand. Check that out. And I'm going to open it. I just want to get all of the parts to this quest in front of me to start working on it. I would love to play it as well so I can kind of understand a little bit better, have it fresh in my mind. It could be, let's close these other ones. We know we won't need them. Treat stand, maybe. No. Crazy. All right, well, at least we have this Clover's treat stand class. I want to close this other stuff. All right, and then I guess I'm going to look for conversations. So there's no conversations actually on this. So I think that this is primarily the conversation that we need. I'm surprised that this conversation doesn't lead back to her stub. Really surprised about that. All right, let's look back at our log. Okay, Clover can still tell the player about her plan to sell treats at the Summerfest. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, God, I thought I closed out of that. So we need to remove the part where she actually asks the player. Oh, I was wondering if maybe we could actually leave this quest in, but take away any contingency. No, maybe it's just going to be too hard. Okay, let me go back to the document, read through it. All right, Clover can still tell player about her plan to sell treats at the Summerfest. Okay, at the fest, she can mention that she had trouble finding flour and had to use something else. All the stuff about the donuts being awful can remain perfect. Okay, remove mention of reward from Clover, easy. Leaving a way to buy expensive flour. Okay, we're gonna remove. He's not gonna be able to, you're not gonna be able to buy flour, so we need to remove that. Quest logs will need to be updated as well. Okay, and then we've got consider, okay, adding another character who would like to bake something. Kind of weird that summer arrives and everyone wants to bake, but it will keep the exciting element of getting the tiny mill if you have something to do with it. We can refit the quest logs from Clover's treat stand. All right, so I think that the only thing is we still want a baking quest, but we just don't want the time pressure. So I think we do want to remove this one. All right. Okay, the recipe is my mom's. She makes the absolute best cakes, and this recipe is completely foolproof. I've helped her at least 1,000,000 times, and I've got this down. All right, so here's the call to action, asking about flour. I'm just going to delete all these. Okay, where do I get it? That. See, all right. Well, it's okay. There's a miller just south of town. I would go ask him directly, but he isn't really on speaking terms with me at the moment. That line is funny. It's a shame to delete it, but I guess we have to. Maybe we can still leave. We can still leave the bit about flour in there. There's a miller just south of town. I would ask him directly. Okay. No, all right. Let's just delete all this. Keep it simple. Now let's see. What kinds of things do we have in this final? So we've got the quest log. We know we need to get rid of that, so we don't have a quest log anymore. And let's open up here. So we've got Clover's treat stand. It's a bool. Our Clover's underscore treat quest. On got item. So I think that this is, we're just waiting for a callback here. For Clover's treats. I don't think we actually need any of this anymore. And I think we can go ahead and just delete most of this. Clover flower for treats trigger is false. I think we should leave that one in there. Flower for treats trigger. Okay, so here we set the trigger to true. And then we set it to false after we talked to Clover about flower. This is weird because it also sets it to false here. We're just gonna have to play it. We really are. So summer intro, I'm gonna check out. Maybe we can just set the start settings to summer 1. Maybe that'll do the trick. Anyhow, let's see what else we got here. So here we have Clover's treat quest. Have you got the flower? That's obviously not gonna happen. Nothing about flower is gonna happen. We do set the schedule override back to null, which I think that we should do just right away. We should just do that right away. So I'm just going to put it right here at the end. Because now she's not going to be waiting around to talk to the player anymore. We're just going to remove her override. Thanks for the flower. So this doesn't happen anymore. All right, so now we just need something else that happens in this conversation because she can't just give you the entire conversation again. So there's going to be a branch node in here, and Clover end flower for treats trigger. Okay, we'll leave that true. Flower for treats trigger turns false. I don't know why there's so many of them, but let's do like a. I'm gonna add my own herd flower for treats. Oh, let's just say heard about Clover treats. True. And then we're going to take that bool and just check for it at the beginning of the conversation. And if you've already heard the spiel, you get something else. Maybe now we can pop all those lines. But I need them back. I need them back. So in order to get them back, I'm going to open this folder. And then I'm going to go to Perforce. And I'm just going to pull down the old version. of it. History. Check out our conversations folder. So it's going to be in data, conversations. And let me find the Clover Summer Arc. What folder is that in? Right there in conversations. Clover Summer Arc. Come on now. Unfortunately, I hate when this happens. It keeps going to the bottom. Goes to the metadata. Here we go. Clover Summer Arc. Okay, so oh, that's Autumn Arc. Summer Arc is what we want. Here we go. Clover Summer Intro is the version of the asset we want. So if I could just download this somewhere. We don't want to get this revision. I just literally want to I don't really want to open it with anything. I just want to save it somewhere. I'm always so confused by this. Copy files? No. Well, actually, is that going to work? Copy files? Specify source and target files. So can I just copy this entire thing, intro backup? Can I call it let's preview it. I think that's right. Should we just try it? I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? It's just a copy. Copy. Okay, it presumably copied the file. It did, it made a new file. That is pretty neat. I did not know about that feature. So now if we open this conversation, here is the old conversation. That's radical. Cool. So maybe now we can talk about the flower. She's not going to ask the player for it. She's just going to give a little reference to it. And then see where she talks about the miller. Okay, and then we can just copy this sort of node. So let's do player and have two choices. And we're just going to get, of course, and O Clover. And then you can just say that. Okay. But I don't think I'll be getting any flower from him. I'll have to substitute. Hey, Cyber. Asks, did you write this dialogue tool yourself? Yes, I did. Yeah, I always feel like there's actually a lot of dialogue tools, like third-party dialogue tools. There's like oh my God, what's this super huge one that everyone uses? Twine, really popular. And it would be kind of nice to have a separate program for writing dialogues, but Twine just has so much stuff. And it's just like the way that our conversations work. Spine, I feel like every new node is like huge. It like takes up the whole page, and it's just so much easier to see these little tiny nodes because we have a lot of short texts. One could probably use Twine. And then you just have to write the front end for it, which is usually really simple. The data format is usually really simple. I'll have to substitute something. Maybe I'll have to find a substitute. Okay, what else? Let's see the other conversation if there's any more goodies we want to take. All right, perfect. So here's the new conversation. I think that's great. I'm going to give this a save. Let's exit out of this old one. File save. And the backup will just be, we'll stick around in Perforce. Why not? Easy. Easy cheesy. So let's go summer intro. First of summer. I think that this will be the best way to test it. And then we need to make sure to remove any sort of like references. Summer intro, summer music class intro, summer end. Make sure to remove any references in case she like reprimands the player for not helping. Okay, quest complete. So there's no quest complete anymore. But there is this event, treat stand reset Clover. Well, I don't know what that's all about. Let's check it out. What does it do? Reset Clover. Okay, so it turns off her override. We'll leave that. I mean, I don't think that can hurt anyway. And it'll change your schedule back. All right. Ooh, I exited out of summer intro. Let's just make sure we got, yeah, we got it. And then we'll just give this a save project. All right, for anyone new to the stream, I'm currently kind of doing surgery on a quest. We're removing the quest from the game, at least the version of it that we have here, because it's sort of ruining the pacing because it's holding up other quests. And yeah, so I've got a list of changes I need to make that happen. Design doc written by Jacqueline. Let's see if we can play a bit of this that works. Still not sure if we have the correct starting point for the quest. All right, switching to Unreal. Big change, big change. Yeah, the dialogue tool is not any sort of visual scripting. It's just a node. It's just a node tree. It just has nodes, inputs and outputs, and there's a little like metadata field that it's not scripting. It can't actually execute any code or do any logic. It just makes little calls to functions. It works more like a console in a video game than an actual scripting language. Okay, let's see if Clover is going to wait out here. Okay, so she is out here. She doesn't do the thing. I wonder what makes her start asking for flower. I don't think we can go to bed. It'll be too early. Let's try next day, see if that works. Okay, Creatures Workshop. me see if I can figure out what mechanism initializes Clover. Clover wants to bake. So that's a event that is called somewhere by the event system. But gosh, I hate the way I set up the event system in the game because it uses string IDs. I have no problem with string IDs, but the problem is that it really makes it hard to figure out when who is calling that thing, who is using that thing. So I wish I just used like a little dummy container of a scriptable object asset, because then I could use the normal systems of Unity to find what fields, what other assets have referenced that asset. And it'd be a lot easier to debug stuff, because now we've got this event Clover wants to bake. Let me look at my backup schedule here. Let's go Clover intro backup. So let me see, first of all, if it says it in here, Clover wants to bake. So she doesn't want to bake in here. Clover wants to bake. So Clover wants flour is the schedule she changes to. So I do think that somebody sets this trigger, but I would never be able to know who, unfortunately. So let's just figure out. I think I might need to make a script because I have absolutely no idea where that happens. Clover wants to bake. So it's going to be this string is what we're looking for. So the first thing I can try is searching through conversations. That's easy enough. Oops, I ran the search convo. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to close that. I've got a little script, miscellaneous menu items that I can just put in like little editor functions to run. And I have search convos as one of them. I do this a lot, like instead of writing, I could have written like a wizard for this, a little UI that like gave you all the powers to like search through different parts of the conversations. I want to search through the metadata fields or the actual player choices or the NPC dialogue or whatever. Could have done all that, or I could just not do that and just leave and just do it in code every time. It's really simple. This is one of the benefits to having, you know, a scripting language like C#, like, you know, the way C# is implemented in Unity, you can just make it do editor stuff as well. Anyhow, okay, body metadata is what we're looking for. We're looking for, oops, I need to actually check this file out. We're looking for this. And so I'm going to give that a save. Go ahead and save that script too. I don't know why it's changed. I'm going to just wait for it to compile. And then I'm going to run that search convos. And see if it finds any place where we're calling that event. Now again, this is a problem because the event is just a string ID and it's not actually referenced using assets in the editor system, so it's very annoying. Cyber asks, how long has your game been in development? I think it's been 5 years since eShade shipped in 2019. I worked on eShade for a year, but Jacqueline already moved on to Songs of Glimmerwick. So I personally started development in 2020. But yeah, including Jacqueline's time, it's been 5 years development. So go to window. Is it window? No, it's tools, search combos. Here we go. Okay, so we found nothing. Found nothing. Okay, so it's definitely something else. I'm pretty sure I made a little like search. There's search scene. I want to like search for event I thought I made one for that, for searching for an ES event, but I don't see anything here. I don't see any ES event search. There's a search scene, define object of type. How have I not made that already? That's crazy. I'm really surprised because I guess there's just too many places that that an ES event could trigger. I don't know. Let's try to make one though, because I don't know how else to do. I mean, I can't just start clicking on objects in the game. There's like billions of them. So there's a search scene. We'll start with that. We'll make a new menu item. And we'll do search scenes for ES events. Search scenes for ES events. And the first thing it'll grab is ES events, really all of the different types of ES event. What does ES event on enable do? That's a weird one. It literally just calls events when it enables. It seems very strange that we would even have that, but whatevs. So I'm just gonna loop through. Actually, we'll leave that string there. We're gonna be adding something, new line, object name. And we're gonna be saying I think the game object name is probably going to be enough. Yeah. Honestly, I think that's all we need. Oh, well, what we want is the object.gameObject. So object.gameObject.name. And then we just want to do this 2 more times at least for all the different other kinds of ways events can call. So there's an ES event on enter, an ES event on enable, ES events on interact. You know what would be really clever is if I just made a list of game objects. And we'll just call this like go matches equals new list of game objects. And then what we'll do, oh, these aren't go match, these are, we'll just call this like to search. Okay. And then we'll just say to search dot add, I think it's add range, right? Yeah. Add range, and we'll just add our, what we want to search here. Is that not how we want to do it? Can we just say add? Does that work? No? Add range. What does it want? It wants a collection. Did we not give it a collection? We gave it an array. That seems like a collection to me. What's the problem? Okay, cannot convert an array to a game object collection. Do you really have an issue with this? I bet we can use a link to convert it. .to list. There we go. Yeah, and we want to cast that list as a game object. Right? That'll work. How does that not work? What is your problem here? to list. Come on now. What is your issue? Does not contain a definition to list. Well, I don't get it at all. Hey, thanks, Cyber. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it, and I'm happy to hear it's inspiring. That's very good news for me. Probably the best thing I can hear about stream here. So thank you. I'm gonna convert like C#. How to add array to list. Pretty simple. Add range. Use list.add. Oh yeah, add range. That's what I did. Dude. That's not working for me. I'm using add range, but it's not working. What? I'm being extra stupid, I think. Add range, it wants enumerable game objects. Find objects of type. I really don't understand. This is an enumerable. I don't understand. Cannot convert an array of ES event on enter. Oh, they're not game objects. Wow. I'm an idiot. I'm a huge idiot. Can we do like a list of components? Can we just do like a list of objects? I guess. Maybe that's insane. Okay, but that works. Can we loop through these objects and ask, well, we can cast the object as what? I think I might be being stupid. I think that I'm making this way too complicated. Just stop it. Go back. Just loop through 3. I know there's a way to do this. I could use like generics here and I could cast it as whatever I need, but why? Why make that? I make it so should theoretically be easy, but I'm just, it's just going to take time to figure out how to do it, and it's not important. Here we go. So let's see. Thank you, T41. Appreciate that as well. Cyber says, have you tried using artificial intelligence or ChatGPT in Unity? No. No, I haven't. I mean, I've messed around with ChatGPT, but never have been able to get it to do anything useful for me, at least with regards to development. I don't think anyone really is using AI in development, at least as far as writing code or creating assets. At least not on anything that anyone would actually makes complete garbage, useless garbage. Okay, so we just want to check if the event, if the ES event equals the one we're searching for, we'll go event to search, and we need a first get. We'll start with this one. Can't believe, a little bit absurd what I'm doing, but work. Okay, and then we just need to ask that a bunch more times here. That should be it. and then we just log the string. All right, that's good. Kinds of things I've seen people use AI for in development are really useless. Like everyone's demoing it. Like, look, I can have it create a bunch of cubes. Why do I need it to create a bunch of cubes? Nobody's ever actually done anything useful with it. Like, oh, well, if you can just, I mean, pick a task that actually is a task. Because I'm never just creating a bunch of cubes. Like, try to actually do something with it. There's a bunch of ChatGPT implementations for Unity. Everyone's making them. Everyone's hysterical about making them. And nobody's ever done anything with one. Nobody's ever even tried. I feel like people that make these things haven't come within 1,000 miles of actual production. Just try actually making something with it. Like I saw somebody was advertising their middleware ChatGPT implementation, and it had the usual demo of scattering a bunch of random cubes on a plane. How about do something real, like carve a river into a piece of terrain and maybe clad some rocks in its banks? Show me that. What would you even type in? What would ChatGPT would have no knowledge of how to do that. Okay, so we clearly have the wrong field here. Event ID. This one, I guess that one also uses ES event. Okay, cool. Save that. That should fix our compiler error. Like ChatGPT is good for Googling something. Basically anything you can Google and get the answer for in the top like 1 or 2 results is something ChatGPT can do. So if you want to, Google how to make a cube in Unity, you will get an answer how to do that. Google how to scatter a bunch of cubes on a plane, you'll get a few answers. If you Google that, you'll get a few simple answers on how to do that. You might even get a few scripts right at the top result. Google how to cut a river in a game world. There won't be any answers for that. There's too many different ways to do it. There's too many different kinds of terrains. There's too many different, things to consider. And that's when AIs like ChatGPT don't even know, they can't even find the scent for that. Cyber asks if I think artificial intelligence will leave many people unemployed. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I think that I think that AI is kind of like cars. Like it's unbelievably insane. Like the combustion engine, when we first started making them, like in the early 1900s, it was completely insane. But then, by the 1950s, cars were pretty much more or less exactly as they are now. They really have not changed. We don't have flying cars. We don't have cars that can go to space. We don't have cars that can go, 500 miles an hour or anything. They're pretty much the same. Maybe they have a little bit more horsepower. Maybe they're a little bit more fuel efficient, but more or less, there's no exponential curve for that technology to go. And I feel like AI might be similar. Even though AI has been getting a lot better very quickly, it fundamentally doesn't understand what it's making. So it seems hard to imagine that it would get good at the very thing that it's terrible at, which is connecting different things together, which is what game development is. I don't know. But I don't think so. I think it's really sad what it's doing to young people and what it's doing to people who are on the outside. Like I hear people saying, I don't want to learn how to code because I think the AI will replace it. It's very sad because it's like, we have a bunch of people who are just completely bummed out, taking the wind out of their sails just because they think that something will happen that might never happen. But just the threat of it happening is already incredibly harmful and demotivating to a lot of people. It bums me out a lot. I think about it a lot. It makes me really sad. So I want to run this script that I just make. Okay. Window, let's go. Oh, tools. Okay, search scenes for ES event. So it did not find our event, fortunately. Wait, maybe it did? It just logged object. Maybe it did. But it didn't give me a game object name. No, I don't think it actually gave us anything. Wait, did it? I need to do like a sanity check here. Game objects found, :space. Let's save and run it again. Okay, for anyone new to the stream, we have an event and I don't know who's calling it, and it's a string ID. So I'm just like, I wrote a script that will just search through the whole game for it. Okay, so it didn't find, wait, no. I'm so confused. I'm gonna make a little little end, because I don't know where it's actually stopping, where the log string actually stops and the little log information actually starts. So I'm saving that, letting it compile. Blue Inferno, hello and welcome. Could you quickly explain your hierarchy? I see you have game core, main, etc. Game core is for all the game logic and like player movements, menus, game UIs, inventory, basically everything that makes the game work. Main has an interesting smattering of things, mostly NPCs and interiors. And then exterior world is everything that is outside, the entire exterior world. So all the art, the trees and the rocks, rivers and oceans and things of that kind. I hope that roughly explains it. And everything is like, everything is loaded all the time except for the interiors. When the player walks into an interior, it loads it. And when they walk out, it unloads it. And it just so happens that, I mean, systems have a lot of memory these days. So we can have a very, very, very big game world outside. Call it the exterior world. Very big one loaded. And then the interior is just a little bit of memory on top of that. But we have tons of them. So we don't have enough room to have all the interiors loaded all the time. They all have super huge, unique textures. Hello, Nordexa. Welcome, welcome. I am doing very well. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to run this again. Tools, search scenes for you. Okay, so it really did not find anything. Good to know. So then who calling this event? I don't understand. Clover wants to bake. So there must be some other place that the event is being called. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's being called by the season system. Day events. Yep, there it is. It should really search this script, honestly. That would be probably wise for it to search that script. Anyhow, I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, so here it is. It's on day 16 of spring is when Clover wants to bake. So I'm going to... Oh, this is day 15. Right, it's summer. It's day 16 of summer, which means that we'd probably see her on day 17. Let me see if I just push myself to day 17, or even if I make a start settings, let's say day 17. Clover wants to bake. Interesting. We already have the mill quest. Anyhow, let's put day 17 in there. Clover wants to bake. And then let's just change it here. I think we don't have call previous day events on start. That might mess everything up. Yeah, I think that'll probably mess everything up. You know what? Let's just start from day 15. No, not day 15, tea house. Let's try first of summer and let's just push through. Try that. Cyber says, therefore, for better optimization, it is better to split it all into scenes because when there are many prefabs in one scene, Unity itself takes time to load. No, that's not true. Definitely not true. I mean, yeah, so there is a very, 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 very tiny overhead to having a game object in a scene, but it's so tiny that if you had like 100,000, I mean, you could literally benchmark this. If you had 100,000 empty game objects, or even ones with scripts on them that do something in the update loop, as long as it's not doing a lot, I mean, you could literally have like 100,000 game objects in the scene. It would barely do anything. What is incredibly, incredibly resource demanding is loading and unloading things into memory. It uses a shit ton of CPU to do this, and it fragments all of your memory. So, well, you'll notice if you use load additive async, which is the function call in Unity for loading things in the memory, for loading scenes into memory. You could also just basically any async operation for loading either a prefab or an asset bundle or a scene. It clogs up the main thread a little. It's not supposed to, but it does. And it makes your game lag. It will literally like freeze the frame. It also triggers tons of garbage on the garbage collector, which also slows it down. So fragmenting your game up into a ton of tiny pieces is the worst possible thing you can do. That's just a terrible idea. What you want to do is use, most of the memory if you can. If your whole game fits in memory, the most performant thing you can do is put the whole game in memory and never load and unload. Just because you have a lot of stuff in your scene doesn't mean you need to be drawing it all. There's a big difference between just having something in a scene and actually drawing it. So, it doesn't have to be drawing. It's just sitting there. It's not doing anything. It's not doing you any harm. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be loading and unloading a bunch of things all the time. The only reason why we do it for the interiors is because it's such a clean and easy place to load and unload because it fades to black. I'll show you when I go through a room. Just fades out, fades in. And it's such an easy little piece. We can say, okay, all this is most of the game in memory. And this last little bit right here, we're just going to be swapping that out with whatever interior. And so it's a very like clean and organized way of managing it. Quinticle says, but you can use addressables and background tasks to work around a bit those spikes. So maybe in Unity 6 or maybe we're using a Unity 2019. So we're quite a bit behind. So maybe in one of the new versions of Unity, they've made it much better. But at least up until now, even Unity 2019, anytime you have an async load operation, it will clog up the main thread and it will make you laggy and it will create tons of garbage and it will generally be very bad for performance. But even if it didn't do all that stuff, even if it perfectly loaded it into memory, didn't create too much garbage, never clogged up the main thread, it was basically a perfect async load, it still would use resources to be loading and unloading all the time. Merely having something loaded, there is no performance cost of having something loaded other than memory. It's just because it's loaded doesn't mean it's eating up CPU and GPU. It's only doing that if you have, a bunch of stuff happening, like maybe it has a script that does a bunch of stuff in update, then of course it's going to be eating up CPU. Or if it's drawing, which of course is going to be eating up CPU and GPU. But if it's not drawing and it's not executing anything, there's no harm to having it loaded. Right, I'm gonna go, I guess I'll go next day once. Oh, I did next day 12. I don't think that actually pushes me forward 12 days. I'm gonna try just doing next day again and see if that breaks it. We do have an event started. Sometimes that can mess stuff up. Seems like it's okay. I'm gonna go outside. Clover's not here. Okay. Clover's coming, I think. So I think that because she was stuck in her botany class, she might actually get to me and it might actually continue. No, she walked right past me, so that's not gonna. I think I need to actually go to the classes. Async is main thread, but starting a task can be done in the background thread and therefore ignore the main thread. Only issue is that you are not able to access Unity engine stuff while doing something from background tasks. But yeah, agree about unloading case. You might want to look into addressables for next bigger update, but looks like you don't need to anyway. That's great that they have made it, that they've made a way of loading stuff without clogging up the main thread. So the Rayake says looks very bug free. So it's not a game bug. It's just a bug with me trying to reproduce a game state. So I'm just trying to plug myself into exactly the right moment of the game to test the quest. And that's why it's getting all messed up right here. I think I'm going to try going with this day 17 thing. Clover wants to bake. And I'm just going to go into this and I'm just going to invoke all of these events to start. Cyber says, I just moved the scenes from Unreal to Unity. I had a lot of prefabs in the scene with LODs, but that's why the project took a long time to load and the shaders were custom with a lot of textures. Oh, definitely. If you have a lot of data, it will take a long time to load. But I do think that having it all load is better than constantly loading it while you're playing, because, you know, at least if it all loads up front, then, you know, then it's not going to be constantly using up threads while you're actually playing the game. And it's not going to be triggering a bunch of garbage collection and stuff. But yeah, it's generally not, you don't want to just split up your game a bunch just because you have, maybe for development purposes, if you're needing to jump into play mode a lot or something, then maybe you have to create some sort of little walled off thing that loads faster. There's also the new no domain reload settings for Unity, which has sped up our play mode a lot. All right, welcome no caps, welcome, welcome. Okay, so I just want to put all these events in. So be like starting ES events. Quests, appearance, come on now. Acquired spells, items, here we go. No, that's calendar events. ES functions. All right. I'm just gonna put a few more. Whoa, I didn't mean 52, I meant 5. And then we're just gonna put this one, mill quest, and create stand. Go. And then finally, FNF. I don't think we need FNF. Let's leave that out. Delete that. Delete array element. Okay, and I'm gonna see if we can actually get this thing going here. We just need to actually move this to day 17. We'll try 17.26, I think. and save project. Ownership says this can depend on the engine. In my experience, the Unreal Engine garbage collection can get really slow if there are a lot of garbage collectible objects loaded, even if they're not in use. That's a bummer. That seems terrible. But I think generally speaking, in principle, you know, in like computer science principle, simply having something in memory does not use CPU and GPU unless it's executing. And it sounds like in Unreal's case, if that's really a thing, just having something loaded will be executing in one way or another. I mean, it sounds like it'll be creating garbage. Seems pretty bad. Okay, so I'm going to try this start setting. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so we have potions class. Okay, we have this. This is because she's in potions class, I'm pretty sure. Either that or maybe, I don't know, maybe the schedule is broken. Maybe I should look at the schedule. Could be. Over wants to bake. Okay, let's type in bake. Actually, it's maybe summer intro. Summer intro. Oh, that's a conversation. Clover wants flower. So no, she should be in the dorm. The dorm. Modify. So there's she's supposed to be. I don't know. I don't know. Day 17. Let's maybe try stopping these calendar events. Maybe we don't want them. So there's a meet and greet. This is fine. Music class 1, potion class 1, or botany class 1. I suspect potion class 2 is what's doing us in here. I'm going to delete this array element. Let's delete our botany class, music class 2. I'm just going to delete those and see if that fixes our problem. Oh, we might need a domain reload as well. Sometimes that fixes things. So I'm going to just force the domain reload by making it compile. All right. Okay, we're not in class. There's Clover. She did trip line, but she didn't have her go next day. Right, maybe now she's gonna do it. No, she didn't trip line me that time. She's never getting to the treat conversation. Well, I still don't know if it's my start settings that are breaking this or if it's just whatever I did to the quest. So I guess what I'll do is start from day 15 summer, and I'm just literally going to go to all of the events and play through 1st of summer. Try it. And see if we get our normal Clover wants to bake schedule unbroken. Here we go. It's summer. I'm going to check my calendar. Okay, so we've got our botany tomorrow. We've got potions. We've got all this stuff. I'm just going to go next day. Creatures Workshop. So today we have our botany. I'm just going to go to our botany. Hello, hello. Unfortunately, whose name I cannot say. Working professionally with Unity can be quite a pain when communicating with them. We reached out about ways to reduce play and editor loading times and got the we're not going to do anything about it, which is a little sad. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I mean, if they could just make it load faster, I'm sure they would. I don't think necessarily asking for it would make them be able to do it. I need to go to our botany class. Tentacle says you got to be on industry or at least enterprise to get individual support. And even for something like that, I don't think any company would ever be big enough. I mean, that's kind of asking them to change their development. Oh, I need to go to our botany. That's like such a huge thing. It's almost like asking them to change their like organizational priorities. Because there's definitely not any like quick fix for that. They can't like assign a programmer to that and make that better in a month or something. Even if you had, 1,000 seats, I don't necessarily know if that would be enough. I'm just playing through Urbotany. Here's but they did do the no domain reload. That was pretty big. That sped up ours a lot anyway. Okay, now I'm just gonna go to bed, or I'm gonna invoke next day. Okay, and now I'm gonna go to music class. Gonna pop through it. Okay. Cool. All right, I'm gonna go into the bedroom, and I think that this is the day when we're supposed to see. Oh, she just froze the game? Did she freeze the game? Did I freeze the game? What's going on? My player is locked. Oops. Drop something. I don't know why my player is locked. I'm gonna decrement the player lock. So now my player is not locked. Something locked her. Okay. So here we go. We're getting the thing now. So that wasn't too hard to repro. All right. Now I should be able to talk to her again. Okay, and that's the conversation we want. And now I'm going to see what happens to her after that. The only thing is when we first came in there, we got locked and there was no conversation starting, and I don't know why that is. Now it wants potion class. Let's go see what Clover's doing. So she's probably in potion class. Tentacle asks, locked is not frozen, but a specific state of your player you enable somewhere. Yeah, that's right. The player lock we do, like if the player's talking to someone or there's a cutscene or something. Okay, so where is Clover going now? I wonder, is she going back to her bake state? Watch her. Okay, so she does go back to her baking state, which is probably for the best, honestly. I wonder what we can do to make her look like she's It's kind of up to something. Maybe we can like put her over here and put like a baking bowl or something. That would be kind of weird if she was working on baking something for an entire season though, right? I wonder what she should be doing. What does she say now? No, she can't say that. She's got to go back to her stub. So I'm just going to set her back to her stub at the end. So here she'll just set. I'm just going to set her conversation. So set conversation. Actually, I don't know if this is a conversation override or just a normal conversation. Looking at the, you know, I can probably check the schedule. Wants flour. Modify. Okay, there we go. So she needs to change from this to something else. Either that or why don't we could just do this. Heard about treats. I'm just going to make a new bool for that. Heard about treats 2. And if you have heard about treats 2, which we will add here. First of all, if you've heard about treats 2, oops. Heard about treats. So we have 3 ways this could go. The first is it just literally goes back to her hub. So, Rumi, Clover, Indie. She's got 3 different names. Indie stub. So it goes back to her stub. It either goes back to her stub if you've already heard the second part, or then it goes to the second part, and then finally, this is what you hear when she's first in that state. So she will be working on those treats or doing something. I don't know. We're going to have to figure out something for her. And that's really the hard part, unfortunately. Figuring out what kind of animation state she should be in and stuff. But anyhow, that should work. I'm wondering though why I got frozen. Here, let's take a look at that trip line. So we clearly got trip line when we entered the room. There's a bunch of triggers here. Tulip reminder, wiki floorboard, pamphlet. Oh my God, there's so many. Here we go. Clover flower trigger. You come in, flower for treats, and it invokes the event talk to Clover about flower. So let's check that out. Talk to Clover about flower. Sets a player lock. It finds Clover flower position. Okay, and we walk to it. And then when you get there, it invokes talk to Clover about flower. I think maybe a better way to do it is just literally to have Clover interact. What if we did that? I'm gonna try that. None of this. I don't know why we can't just have Got some other bools here. I will maybe make those happen. Oh, that's happening after the interaction. All right, so put those here. And we'll get rid of this. I don't know why it can't be like this, but I'm just going to make it like that. You know, maybe the only thing we want to do is, if we do want to do a second one like this, instead of all the walk to stuff, we just want to do player lock. And then player lock false. Let's just have it wait. None of this walk to. So ES invoke. Talk to Clover about flower 2, and we're just going to do that in 1.5 seconds, just to basically let the thing fade. Oh, yes, invoke. Dot invoke. Scaled invoke, normal. Try that. And then right before we talk to her, we can unlock the player, and then the talking to her will relock the player. I'm gonna have to test that. Wasn't too hard to reproduce, but I hope that fixes it. Is there anything else we can do for this quest? Make sure flour is not for sale in spring from the miller at a reasonable price. So I'm going to go into the miller conversation and just make the flour straight up not for sale. Miller's problem. Mill is cursed. So with the mill is cursed, we have all these branching, and then we have this can't afford. And then we just want to remove this branch. That's crazy, man. Why? I wonder why we would remove it though. It doesn't really do anything. All right, well, we'll just remove it. So that and that and that and that. And now there's no clover treat stand situation. Asked about clover flower. So this is never going to happen. We're never going to ask about clover flower. Do you have any bags of flour left? Not something you could ever ask. He would never say this, not much. How much are they? He's not going to say. Do it. Prices and demand. No, he's not going to ask this. It's not going to happen. Entire thing. Can't afford. We're never going to get this call back to the quest. Let's see what else. So Clover's treat quest is a branch that will never be true. Received mill quest. There. That's what's going to happen. Let's look for any other. So mill is cursed. If you have not received the mill quest, then you can talk all about it. If you have, then you just said, he just says my patrons are crazy. Okay. Then we've got a Clover's treat quest. We don't branch that. We just have the quest log for the mill quest. And I think that's it. I think we're good now. We've done that. Okay, so I'm just going to start crossing things off that we've done. At the fest, mentioned that she had trouble finding flour. So I haven't done that yet. Remove mention of a reward. So we've done that. We've done this. Oops. Finish that. Quest logs will need to be updated as well. So quest logs are pretty much out of the game now, as far as I know. Adding another character we've not done. We want to swap our botany and potions 2. So let's take a look at that. Potions 2 is come on. Where's our event here? Potion class 2 comes on. There should be a day on this event. Is there seriously not a day on this event? Oh, here we go. Immovable day is 17. So we want to make, I'll just go ahead and add another inspector. Add an inspector, put it over here. And we'll go ahead and lock this. So there's potions 2. Let's check out our botany. Our botany 2. Right, that's what we want. We want to swap our botany and potions 2. So checking out our botany class 2. The immovable day is 15. That seems crazy. Is that really what we want to do? Well, it's on here. Check out. So now this is going to be 15. Check out. This is going to be 17. Put that inspector back. I'm going to close that inspector, close tab, and then I'm going to save project. Unlock this. Okay, our botany is now 17, and potion class 2 is now 15. So we've flipped them around. Let me move this back. Let me check out first of summer start settings, and I just want to see the calendar events here that we start with. Start calendar events. Here's potion 2, which starts on 17. So I really wish that there was no day. I don't even know where we use this day, but I'll just go ahead and align these. Our botany class is going to be, wait a minute. Oh, swap our botany and potion. Now I feel like they're misaligned. Our botany class 2 is 17. And for botany class 2. I wonder if we already flipped them. Did we already flip them? Oh dear. Sorry about that. Here's what I can do. I can look at the history of the file in Perforce. So let's see if we maybe have already flipped them. I'm going to go data. I'm just going to find out where it is. Botany class 2. Oh boy. Botany, I spelled it wrong. Botany 2. So I'm going to check where it is. It's in calendar events data. Here we go. Calendar events. Come on, man. All right, right there. Botany class 2. Botany class 2. Here it is. I'm going to check the history of the file. Summer events and quests for 14-day month is the last change. Seems unlikely that we ever flipped that. Yeah, we definitely haven't had any check-in on this. So I don't know why those were flipped before. It's very strange. But let's just run the game and see if they're in the correct place. Our botany class should be on day 17. Calendar. Yeah, our botany class on day 17. This is what we wanted. We wanted to flip them. Wait. Oh dear me. Okay, looking at our botany class, immovable day is 17. I'm going to revert that. Revert. Now the immovable day is 15. So we definitely flipped it. Change that to 17 and save project. I don't know, man. I don't know why they're different days in the calendar events. Really strange. Freaky. Maybe I should go into the event data and check out who's referencing. Oh, no. That's spine event data. Calendar events. Calendar event data. And let's check out immovable day. Okay, here's a comment. If it's on a specific day, set the day. If not, use -1. This is so that immovable events are not placed on days when there will be an immovable event that the player doesn't know about yet. Is when we use get empty days after starting day. Okay. This is so that movable events are not placed on days when there will be an immovable event. All right. But what is really weird is when we go into like day 15 summer start settings, 1st of summer, and we go into this calendar event. Like, what is this start data? Game start data. What is that array starting calendar events? Whoa, what? Oh, this is interesting. Editor game start data. Game start setting. There we go. And let's look at the calendar. So a calendar event is literally a calendar event. And that should be different than calendar event data, right? Yeah, calendar event data, different. It's a scriptable object. This calendar event is different. It's created in the game world state, different than an event data. Crazy. I really hate the way I initially set up this system. So here's a day, and it uses this day absolutely everywhere. So this really is the day. This has got to be the day, man. When do we use immovable day? So there's only a couple places. Weird. Okay, so that must be kind of new. Anyhow, that is really strange. Well, we'll just see what happens. I don't exactly remember why we wanted to swap Herbotany and potions, but you know, I suspect why would we want potions? No, let me see if I can ask Jacqueline. I'm going to be right back. All right, sorry about the extended BRB. Okay, I figured it out. Potions needs to be on the earlier day. So if we plop into summer and then check our calendar, potions should be the first one. Checking our calendar, potions is the first one. All right, so that's done. Done. Let's go back to our sheet. So we have done this. Boing. Account for D not getting the blueberry bun. That seems very unrelated, but let's take care of it now, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it. Jeff Bruno, hello and welcome. Apologies for rehashing the AI thing. Oh, I don't mind. I'm excited to see NPC dialogue controlled by large language models so you can have dynamic conversation. Yeah, I can see why that would be exciting for folks. I don't know. I don't really know what it would look like. I guess the problem I have with it is that, well, two things. One is that AIs hallucinate, right? So they just start going off in this weird direction and they just start making up things. And two would be when you have like a story-oriented game, like let's say Baldur's Gate 3. Every time you hear someone speak in that game, what they're saying has a reason behind it. Like if it's plot related, well, there's a reason. It's taking you somewhere. And or it's revealing a character trait about them that is, thoughtfully crafted, and their backstory is thoughtfully crafted and all that. And when you're talking to a large language model, they might foreshadow something, or at least something that sounds like foreshadowing, that is not taking you anywhere. And you can always count on anything that anyone is saying to be gobbledygook. Like they're never taking you anywhere. They might say something that sounds reasonable, like, oh, hello, I'm an innkeeper. I've been living here for 5 years and there's something very strange that happens every night at whatever. You're like, oh, what's that all about? And then it turns out to be about nothing because the AI just sort of made it up and there's no cohesive vision for that and it's not taking you anywhere. And basically, I would never trust that anything anyone ever said that was interesting to actually be leading somewhere. And that's, I guess, the problem I have with AI. It's kind of the problem with like when you ask AIs to write books. Currently, no AI has ever written a good book yet. AIs can write a paragraph that sounds like it has nice prose and stuff. It has the aesthetic of good writing, but it's not good writing because it's not actually saying anything and it's not taking you anywhere. No, like AIs are obviously capable of writing novels. No AI has ever made a novel that it wanted to read. You can just count on it all being gobbledygook, I guess, which is, I don't know. That's the piggy slop thing people talk about. Like, oh, you just want your piggy slop. It's putting out piggy slop. It's putting out content to consume. But there's absolutely no guarantee that it's going to be good content or vetted or meaningful or anything, I guess. Kind of the hard part. It would not be useful for highly narrative games, maybe more open world sandbox type. That's true. Yeah, open world sandbox. But when I think of talking to NPCs, the thing that excites me is like discovering things that the designer left for me. But yeah, maybe people do just want to talk into the void and walk around in a sandbox and role play. I don't know. Maybe that is interesting to some people. I can definitely see how it would be exciting. All right, so looking at that little thing here. Okay, account for D not getting a blueberry bun. We decided that D will just be annoyed with you if you have still not managed to get her a blueberry bun, but she will say she needs to get back to work anyway. Quest log will update and you will be able to proceed. So I'm guessing at what point does this quest die, I wonder? I guess the moment... The moment the flour mill shuts down, right? Can you buy flour before that? Let me see if you can buy flour before that. Let me look for spring or day. Day 7. Let's try day 7. And then let's go to the flour mill and see what kind of state it's in. Ghost of Christmas Future, hello, hello. Good to see you again. Going to take a lot of new approaches to train new models, like they've already scraped most of the existing data. They're going to need new data on scale that humans are able to generate. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what the future holds. I can't help but feel sad about it. Definitely a lot more sad than excited about it. I know a lot of folks are excited, but I guess as a creator and as an artist, definitely I have this weird hollow existential feeling about it. Not because I feel like it's going to replace me, but even if it was going to replace me, I don't know if it will, but my hollow existential feeling feels separate from that. I can't explain it. I want to go to the flour mill and see if I can buy flour right now. Yes, I can. Zardy Mill, hello, welcome to the chat. Says, I think there may be ways to leverage this, but it is hard to control. See Infinite Craft, for example. It's the most simple game that uses LLMs and still goes wild after a few moments. Yeah. I haven't played that Infinite Craft. Yeah, it seems really hard to tame the hallucinations. So, right, when the flour mill changes, it needs D's conversation also needs to change. So I'm gonna go to D, or fairy girl. All right, one moment, folks. Great. Jeff Bruno says, I like the color palette for game. Thank you very much. Are you achieving that look entirely through your material, or is there post-processing? Nope, there's no post-processing. Well, there's just like little things. No color post-processing. Just the assets, the images and color balance things. Always putzing with things. Every time we put a new asset into the game, feels like we're always messing with the illustration, like levels a bunch until it sits with everything and it looks right. Also, for Christmas Future says, yeah, just wait out the AI hype to squeeze out the profit out of the new scheme and move on like they did with crypto and NFTs. Yeah, I do feel that AI is a little bit less hollow than those things in terms of the promise of like actual usefulness, but it certainly is not, at least I don't think it's to the level of hype that all the tech bros feel right now. And I mean, NFTs, man. NFTs were the stupidest. That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen the tech bros get excited about. Absolutely no problem solved for anyone. So I want to go to the fairy girls conversation and look for this check for when you have a blueberry bun. Not fairy girl quest. Okay, here we go. Fine, I'll get you the bun. Oh. And then you can say here. So here is where we need an extra branch, where it checks if it's past a certain day. Let me go to the metadata processor and see what we have. There's still time to make a Witch Academy NFT. We get spam emails for it all the time. For NFT middlewares. Have you considered the possibilities of making your game into a dirty, filthy, worthless NFT game that nobody would ever want to play in 10,000 years? We think it's the future. We still get emails like that. And they're not really spam. They are targeted to us, like specifically, like say, oh man, we saw Songs of Glimmerwick. It looks really pretty. I love the storybook vibes. Like they're definitely seeking particular people out, pitching the most asinine things. Okay, is day, something about day. Let's check day. Doesn't actually look like there's any way to check this. Let's make a special function, I think. I'm gonna make a, oops. Let's check out thing. Okay, public static void. Never, or let's do failed blueberry. Fun. And we're just gonna do pass equals if the world state dot day. Actually, maybe we can check for something else more clever. Day events, summer, so probably something about the mill. So mill quest, something about the mill. Let's check mill. Mill quest lead, here we go. Mill quest setup, day 16. What happens in the mill quest? Are there any bools maybe that we can capitalize on? Let's look for set bool. Show mill lead. That one's probably not a good one for it. I guess we can really check if the mill is cursed. Once the mill is cursed, and I know at some point it becomes uncursed, but if it's uncursed, then you should be able to buy flour again. So yeah. So let's just check for mill cursed. Go back to the metadata processor, and let's just check. Actually, we can check that ourselves, I think, in here. So let's add one. See you down here, and then for this one, actually, you know what? I don't think it should be in here. I think it should be somewhere else. Like, you just talk to her. There's a branch, and it'll just check. Hey, bad choice. Okay. It'll just check if the mill is cursed. And if you got her the blueberry bun. Fairy quest complete. So if the fairy quest is not complete, And the mill is cursed. Perfect, perfect. Then she goes and does something else. But I would love to complete it in a way that doesn't give the player any experience. I don't know if that's actually possible. Huh. I'm going to look into that. They sigh. I guess I have to get back to the ferry. That's all she says. All of this stuff should really be in a function. Okay. And then when we complete the quest, let's look at that metadata processor and see about complete quest. So I don't even want to do this anymore. I'm not going to do that. Do complete quest. I'm going to go to the complete quest function. It's got to be like a fail quest. Let's see, where are we giving the player XP? Maybe we can just add some kind of bool in here. Oops, I have to check that out. Here we go. There's where we give the player XP. So I'm gonna check that out. Player data. I've had some follows that I didn't hear. I never do these days. J Big Styles, it was quite a long time ago, but if you're still around, I thank you very much for the follow. Stream, yes, thank you very much. I appreciate the follow. And Mahak Hef, appreciate the follow very much. So I've got player data, and what I want to do is make a way to complete a quest without getting XP. So we're going to go bool no XP equals false by default. And here we go. Here's where we actually gain the XP. If not, no XP. Then we give so then we want in conversation metadata processor, quest complete. What we really want is just another I'll just make it as clean as possible. Quest complete, no XP. And then we do exactly that, but we put a true in there. And give that a save. Now we should be able to divide. Not give the player any XP. Or like a failed quest sort of thing. Okay, here, function node. We'll do two functions. One pipes through here. And one pipes through here. And they both go here. Except one has quest completing properly. And the other has the quest with the complete no XP. Now the only thing that should happen, I guess, is we should get a quest log. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm very deep in thought here. Let's save the project. Saravati, hello, hello, welcome. What I want to do is the miller. In the miller, if you talk to the miller, you receive this quest and you have not completed the fairy girl quest, then I want it to give you a little weird quest log here. So going to the fairy girl, here's the fairy girl quest complete. Miller's problem. So once you learn that this thing is borked, then it'll do a little check right here, branch. Check if you haven't completed fairy quest, you'll get an extra little log function here. And it'll be on now. Not quest complete. Where are we actually assigning the quest? Somewhere in here, there's a place where we're assigning quest. Here it is. And we want a special one. Once you learn that you can't get any flour from the mill, you've effectively failed. You failed this character's quest. So we need like a 2A, and it'll send a callback that you should go let D know that you stink. Go to loc sheet. And let's go to search for that fairy girl quest log 2. There it is. Oh, we already have a 2A. I've got all the ingredients. So we want something else. The baker gave me some flour. I just need to make. I guess we'll go 3A. Ah, loc sheets. Check that out. So yeah, 3A. The baker's mill is cursed by essentially can't make D a blueberry bun. I should let her know. And I might not be able to make D a blueberry bun anymore. And I might, let's go. And I might no longer be able to make D a blueberry bun. The baker's mill is cursed, and I might no longer be able to make D a blueberry bun. Does that sound like decent English? I may no longer be able to make D. So one interesting thing is that it is possible that the player can still make a blueberry bun if they have all this stuff in their inventory and they just haven't done it. And I guess in that case, we should let players finish out this quest, which I believe I didn't even give them the option. Because here's the ability to give the player a blueberry bun. So we need to actually make this a dialogue option. I did mess this up. Let's add choice. I can't make your bun. And then go here. And now we can delete this and go straight into here. Phew. Seemed like it was going to be simple, but it wasn't as simple as I thought. All right. So now there's still incentive for the player to finish it the correct way because they're going to get XP. They do. So they can keep their blueberry bun or their ingredients if they want, but they're just not going to get any XP. And I think XP is probably more valuable than that stuff anyway. So, oh my God. Okay, save project. That was so complicated. Now, how do I repro this? Ooh, boy, howdy. How do I test this? I need to test D's quest. Fairy. Here, Fairy Girl 1 start settings, day 5. Okay. So at least we have an entry point for that. Oh, what I didn't do was actually hook up 3A. So let's make sure to do that. I definitely did not do that. Go to mill. Conversation for mill. Miller's problem, open. Mill quest, you get the fairy log. 3A. Cool, cool, cool. Save project. Lovely. And now I'm going to compile just to make sure that we have this. Sometimes if you don't do a domain reload, if you have the no reload domain, sometimes it doesn't like update the asset files somehow or something. I don't know. We have this issue sometimes. Okay. See if we're able to test this. I'm invisible, so that's cool. Why am I invisible? I'm just broken in every way. Maybe these are not great start settings. Maybe we should just start with developer start settings. Let's see where that gets us. See if we can test D's quest. All right, developer start settings. What's D doing over here? D doesn't even exist yet. Is it like a... Oh, you know what? No, I have it set up so that the fairy girl... Yeah. She is definitely down by her fairy. Okay, so I need to change that. We're going to make new stars. Can we just start the game from the top? Will that work? I'm going to start the game from the top. And then I'm just going to do next day a bunch of times and see if that will this happen. Random hair. Okay. Sometimes I just like to do a different hair. Mostly for this when I'm streaming. I like the player to look different from time to time. So when people come in, they go, ooh, that's cool. The character customizable. I don't know. All right, I'm going to stick our avatar down here. And here's D. So I should be able to pick up the quest, right? Okay. So not yet. That's interesting. It just says must concentrate. I wonder when she pops this. We'll go next day. Oh, I guess I have to open all these. Okay. Let me just look at the conversation crafter. Knowledge problem. Let's go with fairy. I just want to get this right. Fairy girl open conversation. But when does she actually switch? When you see the fairy sign. I'm an idiot. All right. So we're good to go. I just need to see the fairy sign first. Placing my character down to the fairy. On fishing. Okay. Now I should be able to talk to her. I forgot how many parts there are to this quest. And then she assigns me the blueberry bun. Cool. Looking at the log. Fairy girl told me to bring her blueberry gun. Maybe I can buy one in the market. I'll get the ingredients. What the hell? What the hell, man? What's going on? I just talked to the baker and... Oh, I understand. Okay. The baker's daughter is approaching. Because the baker's daughter is the one that has talked. She's invisible and she's taking a really weird path. And she's going to crazy places. Oh, man. Sucks. God. Is she ever gonna get there? When she does, it's not gonna work. I just know it. Oh, that sucks, man. Come on. Force end conversation. End conversation. End all conversations. Okay. There we go. Now she wants a pretzel. Blueberry bun. Okay. Good, good. I got through that. Can you ask blueberry bun? Oh, you can just keep asking for blueberry bun? Oh, okay. You can just get more information. We only get, wait, does he actually give me? I have 3 flour now. It just gives me 3 flour. Anyhow, I need water. Give item watering can 1. And I want to make a blueberry 1. Give item blueberry. I think it's wild blueberry actually. Wild blueberry. No, that's not a thing. Come on, what is the item name? And blueberry. It's just blueberry. Give item blueberry. I have blueberries. I have blueberry dough. Now I need to bake that thing. Where should I bake this? I know that there's a fire. Can I bake it in this fire? That would be... Oh, this fire is not on. I'm gonna bake it in Crystal Cone's fire over here. Okay. So the blueberry bun is being made. We're just gonna wait patiently. It's gonna take forever. Got my bun. I'm gonna head over to the miller. I'm gonna save my game before I try this. File save. And we're gonna make a new save and it's gonna be called testing dquest. Save. Resume. And what I need to do is get all the way to the cursed. All the way to the cursed mill situation. So looking at the calendar, I'm now on day 4. I've got a lot of days to go. Probably a set day somewhere, but I don't know if that's a reliable way to do it. No. Cool, moving right along. Gotta do this like 8 more times. Oh, it looks like it's cursed. Okay, Fairy Girl updated. So now I'm gonna check the log. Cursed Mill and Fairy Girl. No translation key. Why is there no translation key? Because I didn't save the freaking loc sheet. You gotta be kidding me. I just saved it. I wonder if I can get it to re-import. You know what I bet if I save the game right now? Testing dquest. Where did that go? There it is. Where's my other one though? Didn't I have another one? Huh. I don't see it. Oh boy. That's weird. Where'd my other one go? I don't think I'm gonna be able to find this. Means no translation key. exit, and then reload the game. Well, I need to make sure it actually refreshes though. I don't know if it refreshed. I'm going to duplicate Blueberry. This will force it to refresh and then delete. And now I'm going to pop back into the game and I'm going to try to load my save. I hope my save is there. I suspect it's not going to be. I'm detecting some weird janky garbage here. Come on, come on, come on. Exit to main menu. There it is. Hooray! Testing D's quest. I'm hoping the translation key will be there now that I saved the file like a decent person. Okay. Looking at the quest log. Yes! Baker's Mill is cursed, and I may no longer be able to make D a blueberry bun. I should let her know. Back to D we go. Oh, I didn't open this yet. That's okay, no matter. Fear not. Hello, D. How's it going? Hey, I still can't ferry you. My hunger for blueberry bun is too powerful. I can't make your bun. Wow, you just left me to starve. I guess I'll get back to the ferry. Fairy girl complete, and I did not receive any XP. Now what happens when I click on her? Okay. Goes into her final state. Now let me go down to the ferry. Oops. Okay, and she's gonna take us? Yep. Hallelujah. Okay. There's one other thing I need to check, and that's just fairy girl. I delivered the blueberry bun, and now the fairy girl will take me across. That is horse shite. Perfect, though. Everything is perfect. Everything works great. We just need to change. We need to make a variant of that quest log, because we definitely did not deliver blueberry bun. So going to the conversation crafter, need to check where that quest completes. Fairy girl. Oh yeah, okay, we even already have a spot for it. So instead of quest log 4, we're just gonna head over and we're gonna make a new one. Quest log 5. And we're gonna say, I failed to deliver D a blueberry bun. But she has returned to her ferry post and is ready to ferry me across and is ready to take me across. Maybe I'll say nonetheless. Nonetheless, she has returned to her ferry post. And should nonetheless be one word. Owner Sheep says, can the mill be uncursed and allow you to make the bun afterwards? The phrasing makes it sound like you can. Yes, yes. Technically, oh, no, actually, you can't. Because you need to get across to uncurse the mill. So there's never a situation where you could uncurse the mill and then continue D's quest. You failed D's quest. You had a month or like 10 game days or something, and now you get no XP. Yeah, good thinking though. But yeah, unfortunately, there's no way to uncurse the mill without getting across using the fairy girl. Is nonetheless one word? That's what I want to know. Is nonetheless one word? is nonetheless one word. Yes, nonetheless is one word. Cool. Right. Okay, now we want to quest log 5. Failed to deliver D a blueberry bun. Save project. Exit out of that. Be the last one. Let me just make sure that actually took Fairy Girl. And Tony RR, hello and welcome. Are we getting this on consoles? My fiance is addicted to Eastshade. Well, thank your fiance very much for playing Eastshade and happy to hear it. Yes, we will be coming to consoles. We are not 100% certain on which ones, and we haven't announced that yet. But we are coming to consoles. Which console in particular were you thinking of? There is one console that we likely won't be coming to. I won't say what it is, but if you tell me what console you have, then I'll say maybe we're coming to that one. Wink wink, or not so sure, which means we definitely won't be coming to that one. I'm going to open the Fairy Girl conversation. Cool, okay. Like we've got that. Fairy Girl, close out of it and open it again. I'm OCD about this. I've been burned before. Looks good, Fairy Girl. Xbox. Yes, we might be coming to Xbox. Might be coming to Xbox. Okay. So that is done. Oh, hallelujah, sweet Lord. Account for D not getting, boom, marked it. I'm very proud of that. Related to this, player can currently use the purchase boat to cross the river, but I'm unsure if they can use it to cross by Marowalt. Okay, but we're done with that anyhow. Flour Mill, okay. Flour Mill quest amendments verified, baby. And then let's look at Fairy. Let's see if there's any reference to Fairy. You can ask Fairy Girls about Fairy Girl's old boat if you're coming from the wrong side. Oh, that's just a bug we have to fix. Okay, I think that we're good. Flower and Mill quest amendments. I have created a path for completing the fairy. I have also created a path for completing Fairy Girl quest. If the mill gets cursed, you also get a quest log the moment you talk, or the moment you receive. Also get a quest log for Fairy Girl the moment you receive the mill quest for the first time. First mill quest the first time if you haven't yet completed D's quest. The game still leaves the option to give D a blueberry bun if you happen to still have the ingredients and or bun. But if you opt to click I don't have your bun, you effectively fail the quest. It completes and she goes to her ferry, but you get no XP. All right, here we go. Now the stuff I've made is cataloged, and the mill quest is in there. That is beautiful. That is gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. Very pleased with that. Okay, let's see what we got here. 2 hours and 34 minutes. That's good stuff. I'm gonna call that a stream. I'm about out of my streaming stamina. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me while we create this game called Songs of Glimmerwick. I'm gonna go ahead and link to it in the chat. If you have not yet seen Songs of Glimmerwick somehow, which I'm sure you have if you're watching the stream, but if you haven't, it is a Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music. It is being worked on by myself and 2 other full-timers, including my wife and lead designer artist. We have been working on this game for 5 years. It is going to be a banger. It already is a banger. It's going to knock people's socks off. I think it's really going to be a fantastic game. And if it seems like your style, you know, which you can determine by heading over to our Steam page, which I just linked in the chat. If it seems like your style, please don't hesitate to give it a wish list. That would mean a lot to us. Then you can get a notification when the game releases and, you know, look at reviews and see that it's a 10 out of 10 and then purchase it. All right. Thank you very much, Todd Edwards, for the follow. I appreciate that. But I'm going to call it for now, and hopefully I'll catch some of y'all next time. Peace out.